MovieWeb.com.
Where do we begin? A year ago, these cops and lawyers wouldn't dare cross any of you. I mean, what happened?
So what are you proposing?
It's simple. Kill the Batman.
So, with all the chaos and the extra characters in the second film, is it a little bit hard not to lose track of Batman himself?
No. I mean, I have a very definite, mask of who Batman is now. More so than ever. This is the first time I've played a character twice. Each time it was for 7 months. I know him inside out. He has advanced. He's become more mature. He now has the burden of responsibility of power, which he was merely trying to attain before. It's a whole different set of problems and questions arise for him.
Well, it was always going to be tricky to sort of change the focus of the movie from the first movie, from being just about Batman to being about so many other characters. But that was very much a requirement of what the story was going to be. We wanted to tell this sort of epic crime story, this city story based on, dealing with the law enforcement and the justice system and the way all these things interact, and the mobsters and the gangsters, the way they interact with the Joker. But I think that there's an overriding sense in which Batman and who Batman is and how people respond to him that is actually the sort of defining feature of the story. And I think by the end that becomes clear that it's very much Batman's story as the title would suggest.
Harvey may not know you well enough to understand when you're making fun of him, but I do.
No, I meant every word. You know that day that you once told me about when Gotham would no longer need Batman? It's coming.
You can't ask me to wait for that.
It's happening now. Harvey is that hero. He locked up half of the city's criminals, and he did it without wearing a mask. Gotham needs a hero with a face.
You throw a party, Wayne, I'll give you that. Thanks again. You mind if I borrow Rachel?
What was it that appealed to you about appearing in a big budget action film like this?
Well, I mean, I guess there's some kind of novelty to it on some level, if you just take out of the equation who's in it and who's directing it. There's just something cool in a way about being in a huge movie. But really for me, I wasn't really looking to work at the time. I had just had a baby, and Chris wanted to meet me, and Chris is such a great director. I was a big fan of his, and also, I knew who was in the cast. It was Michael Caine and Gary Oldman and Heath and Christian Bale, and I mean everybody, Morgan Freeman, Aaron Eckhart, all these people are really incredible actors. When I met with Chris afterwards, he gave me the script, and he sort of said to me, she's not quite finished yet, before I read it. And I read it, and I thought, I had a lot of ideas. I had a lot of I was inspired. The script was really, really good, and I talked to him about it, and I knew from the conversation we had, I sort of said, I don't want her to be wallpaper. I don't want her to be just the sort of drippy girl in the movie. I want her to be thinking and strong and fierce and like feisty. And I knew it was exactly what he wanted. He wanted the same thing. And when I knew that was what he wanted to do, I thought, okay, I have to do this.
This town deserves a better class of criminal. And I'm gonna give it to him. Tell your men they work for me now. This is my city.
They won't work for a freak.
Why don't we cut you up into little pieces and feed you to your pooches? And then we'll see how loyal a hungry dog really is.
Yeah, I was very disturbed by Heath's performance. Yeah, it's quite, psychologically, it's quite terrifying. And it's a very hard thing to do, I think. And he's pulled it off. It's arguably one of the great movie villains.
Well, how different was it seeing him do that on set to seeing the actual movie?
You knew on the set, and that's not to say that that's not buying into I know the gossip and the rumours and things that he was so into the role and all the rest of it. And the guy I experienced was someone who was, very focused, very committed, but could switch off and have a laugh in between takes, and but in the work, it was quite something to be in the room with.
Batman is an outlaw. But that's not why we're demanding he turn himself in. We're doing it because we're scared. We've been happy to let the Batman clean up our streets for us until now.
Things are worse than ever.
Yes, they are. The night is darkest just before the dawn. And I promise you, the dawn is coming.
Now, you studied split personalities to take on this role. Is that true?
I don't know. I'm interested in split personalities, but I've always kind of been interested in personality dysfunctions between multiple or split or sociopathy or psychopathy. It always comes up when you're doing a movie or there's a lot of that in the movies.
Now, some of the fans want to know: did you keep the coin? Or is that coin?
That's interesting.
Set in
I've
a
been
box,
asked
or?
that. I don't know where the coin is. Maybe I should have kept it. I think it's going to be part of the Dark Knight lore. I don't know that I kept anything from the movie.
Okay, cut.
What about the suit this time? I heard they brought in a whole different suit that was easier to move around for you.
Yeah, the suit had to evolve as the story does. There was also just the question of, me personally. Yeah, I said to them, please, can you make these adjustments? The first one was clamped on, vice-like grip on my head, headache. I used it to, channel his rage or whatever, but I don't really need to have that to help me. I can act that, More difficult to breathe, more tiring for the fighting sequences. You were actually having to fight the suit in order to be able to fight. This one was compatible with the fighting style that Batman uses. And so much more mobility. I can move my head. It allowed us, and very practically, it allowed us as well to be able to go for much more takes with this, whereas the other one would get so exhausted so quickly that you had to stop, take a bit of a break.
How did you go about choosing which shots you wanted to have in IMAX for this?
Well, we started from saying, okay, we want our 3 main action sequences to be shot entirely in IMAX. And then as we got more familiar with the equipment, as we started to learn how to use it and how to work it in, we decided to try a couple other types of sequences. And we built it out into about half an hour of the movie. We built it out into about 6 different sequences in the film. And then in the edit suite, we were able to decide whether or not to use the full IMAX frame or whether to keep it in the 35mm realm. And so we did it according to the rhythms of the movie. Right?
I never feel willing to gun to Rooney, so we won't be able to charge him. But the fact that they're trying to kill you means we're getting to them.
I'm glad you're so pleased, Rachel. I'm fine, by the way.
Come on, Harvey. You're Gotham's DA. You're not getting shot at. You're not doing your job right. But if you said you were rattled, we could take the rest of the day off.
Can't. I dragged the head of the major crimes unit down here.
Oh, Jim Gordon? He's a friend, actually. Try to be nice.
Now, you were talking about him giving you the script. I think I read today in Interview magazine that they had a security guard standing there with a gun waiting in your driveway.
Yeah, well, I don't know. If he had a gun, he didn't show it to me, but he might as well have. They were really, really careful with the script because, there are so many people that are so interested in Batman. Mm-hmm. And I think all of those fans, as much as, maybe they think, oh, I'd love to find the script on a bus or something, someone left it there. I don't think they really want that.
Here we go. deserves a better class of criminal.
I'm gonna give it to him.
No!
You'll see. I'll show you. You either die a hero, or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain.